Hi viewers, Andrew back again and welcome to part 2 of my DVD and Blu-ray update. These are going to be strictly Blu-rays this time, so let's get started. Now some of these I haven't seen yet, so we'll get those out of the way first. And the first one I haven't seen is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest starring Jack Nicholson. Heard this is an absolute classic, won a stack of awards, and yeah, I just think it's going to be an amazing film. I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching it. I know a lot of people here on YouTube have this in their collections, and I've heard nothing but good things about the film, so that's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Next up is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Now, I'm not too sure if I've seen this film or not. I think I may have seen bits and pieces of it on TV and such, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the entire film from start to finish. But I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I've been wanting to pick up the Blu-ray of this for the longest time. However, over here it's normally pretty expensive, but it was on sale for half price, so I grabbed it. Yeah, I just heard that this is a masterpiece in horror cinema, so that's The Shining. Next up is Hot Fuzz. Now I know I'm going to love this film. It's right up my alley as far as comedies go. It stars two of the same actors and has the same director from Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead, and I heard this is just as good. Some people even say it's better than Shaun of the Dead. But yeah, it sounds like it's funny as all hell, so that's Hot Fuzz. The last one I haven't watched yet is Red Dragon starring Anthony Hopkins. I'm a huge fan of Silence of the Lambs, absolutely brilliant film, and I've heard this is another good film in the series. It's a prequel, I believe, and a few people here on YouTube say it's pretty underrated, so it was going nice and cheap, so I decided to pick it up, and it looks pretty good, so that's Red Dragon. Okay, now we'll move on to the movies that I have had a chance to watch, and first up is a series of movies, and it's the Fast and Furious series, the first 3 films. So Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and my personal favourite, the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. All absolutely phenomenal action films. If you're a fan of action, fast modded up cars, I highly recommend going out and picking up these films. The 4th film I've seen, I think it's crap compared to these ones, but yeah, these are all fantastic films. They all look phenomenal on Blu-ray, so that's the first 3 Fast and Furious films. Next up is another sci-fi favourite of mine, Serenity. This is a sequel or a follow-up to the sci-fi series Firefly, which is brilliant as well. This is an actual DVD upgrade for me. I had the bare bones copy on DVD, and this is stacked with a ton of features, all really great features. You've got like deleted scenes, commentaries, all like interviews with the filmmakers and such. Really good stack of special features. It looks phenomenal on Blu-ray, one of the better transfers that I've seen. It's just an all-round great sci-fi film with a western twist, so that's Serenity. Next up is George A. Romero's Land of the Dead. Now this is a very good zombie film. It's not one of my favourite zombie films, however it's very good. So if you're a fan of the zombie genre, I highly recommend Land of the Dead. And next up we have another zombie film, Dawn of the Dead. This is a lot better in my opinion than Land of the Dead, so if you're going to choose one over the other, I highly recommend this one. This is an actual remake of George A. Romero's film under the same name. I can't compare it to that as I haven't seen the original one as yet, but yeah, this is definitely one of the best zombie films of modern times and a favourite of mine, so that's Dawn of the Dead. Next up we have another 80s classic, and that is Labyrinth. Great fantasy film about a teenage sister who wishes her baby brother disappear one night. Of course it happens, and she has to go through this massive labyrinth in order to rescue him and return him back to home. Really good special effects throughout the film, great use of puppetry. Jim Henson of course does a fantastic job with the puppets. But yeah, if you're an 80s fan with movies or you're a fantasy fan, I highly recommend Labyrinth, and the Blu-ray transfer looks really good. Next is another 80s movie, the original The Karate Kid. Now I actually own the first three movies on DVD, sorry, but the original's always going to be my favourite. The second one was pretty good, and I did not care for the third one at all. But I think this is the only version that I'll actually buy on Blu-ray, because the original, you just cannot beat it. Absolute classic, highly recommend it, The Karate Kid. Okay, next up we have Saw. Now I could rave on about this film for 10 minutes, so I'm just going to try and keep it as brief as possible, but this is an absolutely phenomenal film. I love it to bits. Basically, never seen it before. I hired the whole series out the other week, not really expecting too much from it, just went in with no expectations, and I was blown away. This would have to be probably my favourite horror film of recent years. Fantastic storyline, just the whole premise of these two characters being stuck in the bathroom together, not knowing what the hell was going on. It just created a great atmosphere and a great start to a phenomenal movie for me. Great storyline, loved all the traps and the plot twists and turns throughout the whole film, and one of the best endings in a film that I've ever seen. Thoroughly enjoyed it, highly recommend it. That's the original Saw. And after watching the whole series, I decided to pick up Saw 2, and this is where the series ends for me. The rest of the series utter crap in my opinion, but Saw 2, while it was nowhere near up to the original, it's still a very good sequel, and I found that the whole story, the more in-depth story and backstory on the Jigsaw character, very interesting. This is slightly different to the first one. It delves, as I said, more into the character of Jigsaw, and the whole premise is different. There's a whole group of characters in a house full of traps, and they've got to escape the house. At the start of the film they don't know, but they're all connected in a certain way, and of course as the film goes on they begin to realise that. It's got another good ending. As I said, not as good as the first one, but it still holds up as a decent sequel, so that's Saw 2. Well, that's it for my DVD and Blu-ray update. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and until next time, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching.